was stopped because the Trump administration promised the day before that there were no plans to attack Venezuela and that there wasn't a legal case to do any land strikes anywhere at all, right? So the idea was like, don't vote against us because we're not going to do it.
And you think that that's probably swayed them? I'm just trying to get a sense of how dangerous you think this situation is right now.
So, I mean, yeah, we can't forget that there is a massive buildup in the Caribbean. We even have the biggest aircraft carrier in the whole world coming into the region, right? So there is definitely an intention, if not to strike Venezuela, to intimidate the Venezuelan regime, right? But then there were many Republican senators, well, about at least four, up to six, probably, that were saying that they had doubts that they didn't want any strikes on Venezuela. But if you're gonna say that you're not going to do it, then it's fine. And then we have two Republican senators that voted in favor of these war powers resolutions that would block any attacks. So the Trump administration was certainly risking a tie or even losing that vote if they did say that they were intending to attack.
Are people in Venezuela concerned?
Well, actually, that's pretty interesting because if you go around most places, especially in Caracas, people are just going about their normal lives, mostly because life is hard in many ways, and many people don't really have the time to think about whether or not there will be some kind of like military attack. But it is surprising that no one's making plans, no one's suddenly leaving the country, no one's panic buying. People are still going out at night. And they're going about their lives pretty normally, at least ordinary people, right?
Mm. And we know that Moscow has said that it could potentially arm President Maduro and his regime with the latest weapons, as they describe it. How worrying is it that this could end up being almost like a kind of a war between Russia and the US through the back door?
So, well, I think we have to kind of think about Ukraine, right? So the US is not getting directly involved, it's not putting boots on the ground. Europe isn't doing that either, but they're sending them, Ukraine, a lot of weapons, and they also have some limits on what kind of weapons they're going to send, right? With Russia and Venezuela, we could see something similar at a different scale. And I think the important thing is that Venezuela doesn't need to have the latest weaponry or doesn't need to have nukes or anything like that. It just needs certain weapons that will cause enough harm to the US that the cost is not going to be worth it, right? So there are certain weapons that Ukraine used to take down helicopters that were really important in defending Kiev and slowing down the Russian advance, right? So we could see those kind of rocket launchers being deployed in Venezuela, which so, the US can destroy any army in the whole world, right? But the idea is to increase the cost of them acting.
And finally, before I let you go, is the action by the US at the moment targeting what President Trump likes to call these narco terrorists, is it acting as a deterrent? Is it stopping the flow of drugs into the US at all?
Well, I guess at the beginning we could say that that's happening, but the fact that they keep attacking boats after, well, more than 2 months now, it means that the boats are still going out into the sea, right? So it isn't deterring, and there aren't any statistics and indications inside the US that there's less availability of drugs, that there are less, I don't know, like less cocaine being smuggled in or anything like that. There isn't anything to do with prices changing, so we don't really see any results in terms of drug trafficking right now.